Hello YouTube, this is Necrostevo and you're watching one of my narrated Wi-Fi battles. Thank you all so much for getting me to 700 subscribers. It was kind of weird because I didn't even realize that I had hit 700 subscribers, so I really appreciate it. I honestly did not think I would keep on getting subscribers at the rate I had. So today's match is a great match that I had against Angel of the Night 91. Be sure to go check out her channel and also her site. She runs the Snow Point Temple site, and they have a very interesting community there. You can find a lot of battles there as well. They also have some things up like tutorials as well. So she does a fantastic job in her battles. I just really like the overlays and all the work she puts into them. But today's match was an OU match where we both kind of just decided to bring whatever we want. So I ended up bringing kind of a weird UU, RU, OU mix of things, whereas she kind of brings a little bit of everything too. I knew she might go for the Ice Beam, but I also knew I could take it, barring a crit or unless she specs. I really didn't know what to expect from Semi-Poor, so I kind of just stayed in on it. And I get to hit it with a Life Orb Seed Flare. You'll notice that I have particularly bad luck with Seed Flare this match. I don't really know why. This Shaman likes to miss Seed Flare a lot. Like, if I use it 5 times, I'm going to miss it probably 3 of the 5 times. I don't really know why. Anyways, though, she goes out into Snorlax. I was afraid she had Pursuit, and I didn't know what set this was, and I also didn't want her really setting up on me, but I knew I needed to get my health back, which would also allow me to scout to see what type of Snorlax she is. So I rest up, knowing Natural Cure I can switch out and get my rest healed, my sleep status healed, and she uses Return, and by the damage that does, I know that she's banded. I was like, wow, a super effective Ice Beam didn't even do that much. So, holy snap. Fortunately, I get a chance to go out into Rhinox here. Shout out to Beast Wars. And I get a chance to either set up my Stealth Rocks, but actually I predicted that she might go into her Espeon. And I really didn't want my Stealth Rocks getting bounced back at me, but I also knew she had a Zapdos to go into. And so the safest move to go for was the Stone Edge, and I could have missed it. But even if I had missed it against Espeon, I could have just switched out into something else as well. So, knowing that she might just Psychic me or set up screens, now's a good time to go out into my X-Death so I can set up my own screens or or set up entry hazards, expecting her to switch out or anything like that. She actually goes for Shadow Ball, and here I reveal that I'm actually my own Zoroark, and this is a weird Zoroark because it has Foul Play, Night Daze, Grass Knot, and Flamethrower. I normally try to make it disguised as things that might carry Foul Play. In this battle, I was switching between having it disguised as my Fortress or my Thundurus, just because the types of things that are trying to hit Fortress or Thundurus aren't going to be necessarily super effective against Zoroark. So I'm able to knock her out with a Night Daze. Of course, she outspeeds me because this is a modest Zoroark, and that's going to come into play later as well. I know I can't one-hit KO Zapdos, and Foul Play is not going to be very useful here. So going on into Thundurus, maybe expecting her to go for an electric attack. But she actually went for the Hidden Power Grass, expecting me to go out into Rhydon, which was also a good prediction. I actually went to the select screen and looked at the Pokemon I had for a second, and I was like, I can switch to Rhydon. That seems kind of predictable, though. And my only real worry there was getting hit with a Heat Wave, I guess. I play kind of obvious here just because I was thinking, okay, the switch into Snorlax is too obvious, so maybe she'll do something different, but she doesn't really have any reason not to go into Snorlax. I really just should have predicted it and Focus Blasted. But you know, Thick Fat means that damage is pretty much negligible in the long scheme of things there. And I get a chance to go on into Fortress right here, and even though I'm especially defensive, that doesn't do very much, so good job there, X-Death. And hopefully now I can get a chance to, I don't think I set up any entry hazards yet either, just because she still has, well, Espeon's not around, but she has mostly physical attackers, I think, besides Zapdos, and it was much more beneficial for me to just set up the Reflect. I was really hoping that she would overpredict here, and the way she was playing the Zapdos, she actually had me thinking that it was Scarfed, which you're going to find out later that her, another one of her Pokemon is Scarfed, actually, but, for example, here she just stays in and goes for another Heat Wave. So she may have just been fishing for the burn. She also told me that she doesn't like to switch out unless she knows she can get a clean switch. And I think all 3 of the Pokemon she has left are hit pretty hard by Stone Edge. So, whatever that's worth. I really probably should have set up the entry hazards when I had a chance instead of trying to go for a reflect. But I couldn't have known that stuff on our team would carry the Brick Break, such as this Haxorus, who has Mold Breaker and has Brick Break. So unfortunately for me, my Fortress's sacrifice to get up the Reflect was kind of in vain. But I can take one of those and then hit him really hard with an Earthquake. It's not quite going to take him out. I don't think it does, at least. And if I had set up entry hazards based on the amount that she switches in and out, I think that would have actually helped a lot. But that's neither here nor there. She goes into her own Rhyperior, and I had the pleasure of having a Rhydon versus a Rhyperior matchup, which is kind of funny, and it's also, I don't know, it's just kind of cool to me that I can have that matchup. It is a 2-hit KO. I think she's a little bit bulkier, even, not taking Solid Rock into account, which is, of course, the ability that makes moves that are super effective do a little bit less damage. But based on how well she took that, I think she's a little bit more bulky. And maybe she has Rock Polish or Swords Dance, I don't know. But she is at a range where I can go into Zoroark and either Grass Knot her or go into Shaman and Seed Flare. So either way, nothing on our team at the amount of HP that it's at really wants to take a Seed Flare. And I have enough HP to shoot off 2 Seed Flares before I die, because I don't really think I'm going to get a chance to rest up again. But unfortunately I miss on the Snorlax, which is really, really bad, because when we see how much damage this Seed Flare does, holy crap, that would have been fantastic if I had been able to 2-hit KO it. That, and I also missed out on the chance of getting the special defense drop. But I didn't really have anything I could switch into a banded return, so I just let Shaman die off right there. Because I figured my Black Belt Technotop can handle pretty much everything she has left, barring me having some bad luck. But just to be sure, I went for the Fake Out, and it doesn't do anything to Rhyperior. I think it actually gets more HP back from its leftovers, so maybe just going straight for the Mach Punch would have been better. No big though, I can still basically 2-hit KO with Mach Punches. With the Black Belt boost and the Technician boost, even with Solid Rock, that might have been a 3-hit KO after leftovers actually. But this Hitmontop is actually really, really bulky and is able to take Psychics from things and Outrages, and there she gets a crit, so it doesn't even matter. Which actually ended up making this match a lot closer. I probably would have been able to take out her Rhyperior if not for the crit, at least. Especially knowing that she's going to go for Earthquake, I probably could have just switched into Thundurus. But that aside, this actually is not Thundurus right here. She actually thought it was Thundurus, so that worked. But it's actually my Zoroark. And Grass Knot, Snorlax is so heavy that it's going to work out. And then I know that she's banded, so I go for Foul Play because it's going to do a little bit more damage than the Grass Knot. And the Focus Blast, of course, has a chance of missing. And you guys have seen my luck in this match so far, so I really didn't want to risk that. Haxorus comes back out, and I'm like, okay, I think I have this match in the bag because Zoroark will outspeed it. But it turns out that she's Scarfed. And that's unfortunate because here she finds out, oh, that was a Zoroark the whole time. And I go, yeah, and she's like, but you're modest? And I was like, yep, I'm modest. And then Thundurus, of course, in the Therian form is a lot slower than the Thundurus incarnate form. So she's going to outspeed my Thundurus as well. So that is a little bit unfortunate, but it was still a good match in my opinion. You guys be sure to go check out her channel. And thank you so much for all the subs. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys are continuing to enjoy the work that I do here on my channel. Last week, I kind of wasn't around as much just because I had some job fair stuff to do. And I actually got to talk to some employers and also in interviews just about my channel and the type of community that's online and how great you all are to me, and how I am very happy to bring content to you. So whether you guys enjoy my battles, or whether you enjoy my story narrations, things like Dead Space channel. If you haven't seen or read or listened to Pokemon Dead channel, excuse me, I said Dead Space channel, go check it out. Even if you go read it instead of listening to my version, it's a pretty interesting story. In the future, I might put up part 2 of that. But anyways, though, with all that being said, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to keep on working hard, learning interesting programs and things for purposes of being used in my channel, and also just to learn some new skills myself and find new ways to grow. So I hope you all enjoyed this battle. This does not count as the upload for the week, of course. Whenever I do a sub special, I typically still upload later in the week. And I'll see you guys again this week, I suppose. I hope you guys have enjoyed these little pictures here. I found quite a few more since all the Pokemon XY stuff is coming out. But anyways, though, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great week. Bye-bye.